Macro Ministry of the World Premier, Mr. Marky, coming back at you live and direct. Uh, so real quick, as we bring it back full circle, still preparing people for the first woman president and why I still feel, and see if I can just pull one up. And why I still feel personally that Nikki Haley, and this is Nikki Haley, why I still feel Nikki Haley will be the first female president. Uh, she had a chance to be, and remember she's 52 years old, born January 20th, of course. But she had the chance to be the vice president this time, which would have made it very interesting because it would have boxed Kamala in. Kamala couldn't use the lie that she was a black person because Nikki Haley is Indian and Kamala Harris is Indian, and Nikki would have been able to call that out, and Kamala wouldn't have been able to do anything about it. She couldn't lie about it because both their parents have Indian origins. So it would have been no rigmarole for Kamala to say certain things because Nikki could always come and combat that. So that was the initial plan for this. Any way it went, it was going to be a landslide victory for Trump because of the split term ritual. But it would have been an even bigger blowout if Nikki Haley had been up there, because then they couldn't use the misogynistic terms and they couldn't really get away with a lot of the things they ended up getting away with if Nikki Haley would have been running. And Nikki Haley's way more intelligent than, I'm sorry, Kamala's not that bright. Nikki Haley's way more bright than her. Nikki, just has her ways, and it's the way that Indians like to act that kind of gets on your nerves sometimes. But it would have boxed Kamala in. She wouldn't have had wiggle room to lie. She couldn't deny that she was Indian. She would have lost the majority of the black vote. It would have been a worse disaster than it's going to be anyway. Because like I'm saying, I believe that, the only thing I wanted to see was Kamala actually becoming the president. But I'm going to be honest. I told my friend this, and you have to understand America and how it works. You have to understand the world and how it works. And are they ever going to let anybody outside of their norms become the president? Even Barack Obama, he's still within the norms. Like I said, his father is American. That African dude you see is not his father. And we're going to do a huge piece on Frank Marshall Davis. We're going to do a big piece on this guy, Mr. Mystery, who's fooling around with young girls in Hawaii. But yeah, his father's American. Everybody knows that. From Kansas, just like Barack's granddaddy. They so-called grew up together. So there's a whole story behind Barack's real dad, the pedophile in my book. But Nikki had an opportunity. She had a shot to be the vice president. And I think she was going to be groomed to be the first president. I think she still is. I think she still is going to be the first female president of the United States. But this sealed the deal. And remember we did the video on Nikki Haley signing the bomb. And you got to remember in this period, we're talking about May 28th, 2024, they were still calling the situation in Israel a genocide. They were still calling it a genocide. So when Nikki goes out there and signs the bomb and, Trump's not saying anything about the Israeli peace, she messes herself up because, Trump's dead in the beginning of the election. You got this Israeli peace going on. He's not bothering that. He's focused on the economy and the border. He's not bothering this. But when she involves herself in this, she creates an issue. So Trump is going to give the $38 billion, or he says he is. Like I said, if I'm an Israeli, I'm not trusting Trump with this. I'm not trusting these guys at this point. As I said before, Trump is a Jesuit. And if you hear Zach always talking about the Jesuits, I'm not in belief that the Jesuits control the world. The Jesuits are part of the elite. There are civilizations that have been here way before Christianity ever thought about breathing. So you can read books that talk about that. But he is right. The Jesuit order and a lot of these checkerboard orders have been around for long periods of time. Remember, Bill Clinton is a part of the Jesuit order. So, you know, a lot of presidents have ties to the Jesuits. Barack might have ties to them motherfuckers. But this is where Nikki Haley messed up. And you got to remember, Nikki Haley's family are Indians, but they're Sikhs. So they don't believe in war. They don't believe in war. So her, you know, if she would have got chastised by her entire family, she's trying to run, you're trying to run for president, she's trying to be vice president, it would have been a mess. So she really messed up. And I hope somebody pulled her to the side and had a conversation about don't make a move until you know what the move is. And I think she thought she had it in the bag to be the VP. She goes over here and does something totally stupid and messes that up. So it's a lesson she has to learn in politics. That is a game and is the way that you play the game. But it would have boxed in. It would have boxed in Kamala if she was the vice presidential candidate. So it's not, you know, it's not off the table. She'll get to run again. I don't think Trump, by the time Trump be like 81, I don't think he's going for another term. He might try to go for another term and make it to 84 in leadership. We say Trump is the last president because there are going to be some things that take place inside of this 4 to 8 years are going to change the way that we view a president. Is Trump going to be the greatest president? I think he will be. I think he will be. As I said before, it's just things he does not believe in. But you got to understand the people that he works for. These orders, these Christian orders who want control of the world. They want to be on top of the world elite stage, and they'll do whatever they can be. But as far as putting America in a place where it can continue to grow, I think that will take place. Trump is very anti-war. I think he likes business war more than shooting at people. He doesn't do the shooting at folks. That's not something that I think he enjoys. I don't think he wants to be involved in that. And that's why I say the Israelis need to be careful, because Trump is not going to put American soldiers in a shooting war. So you see all this movement. And what is going on with Putin, Kim Jong-un, is they're preparing for their parts in World War III. So they're positioning themselves in hopes that Kamala gets in there. They want Kamala to be president because they want to full out wipe out South Korea, full out take out Ukraine, which is bound to happen. I mean, the only thing that can save Ukraine is Trump. Let's call it what it is. Right now, Trump is the only thing that stands between Putin and now North Korea, because North Korea, there's some soldiers over there obliterating Ukraine. So, of course, Putin wants Kamala over there. He knows she ain't going to do nothing. That's why you saw Mel Gibson make his statement. He ain't stupid. And as Americans, you can't be stupid. Like I say, you got people positioned. Israel is pretty much finished. They're too stupid to even see what Trump is doing. He's aligned himself with Muslims. He's playing both sides of the field. So the Jesuit order is about to move on Israel. They're going to let what happens happen. They'll come over and save them at the end, and they'll make Jerusalem what they want Jerusalem to be. It's already prophecy. This is all prophecy, the fall of Jerusalem, the building of the third tower. We already talked about that. If we do fight a war, it'll be a created war where Putin and Trump act like they can't get along, and then, you know, boom, 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 we're shooting at each other on American soil, which, if you watch Our Pet Dog, Our Pet Goat, yeah, there's a good chance it's going to happen. But Will Trump put us in a shooting war? No, I don't think he wants to be in a shooting war. I think he wants to be in a economic war. And World War III being war of economics. But the Muslims and the Jews will be at war, and Trump will have to come in and say the day after he allows Israel to be obliterated. But this is how Nikki Haley kind of messed herself up, involving herself in an Israeli peace at a time when it wasn't where you want to be, and pretty much that's what's obliterating Kamala, the whole Israeli peace and the genocide. She never, because the problem is they started calling it a genocide. The Democrats came out calling it a genocide. Then when she started running for president, they started walking it back. Because remember, Biden continued to say, hey, this shit got to stop. But the minute she got in and they got to her, then she started walking it back. And you got to remember, the people that she's got surrounding her are warmongers. The Chinese, they don't give a fuck. They'll send young men to go to war. You see, they lied about the last war. That's what messed John Kerry up. If he had never voted for the war, he would have been the president. So, just understanding how the script is created, how the script played out, and parts of the script that you don't involve yourself in. And that's what Nikki Haley did. So she'll bounce back from this. I think she'll position herself probably after Trump. He might do another term. Depends on, how he does. If he does good in the first 4 terms and the world kind of, if we, after 8 years, yeah, we could be headed to war. Because remember that World War II didn't start until the 30s. World War II started after 38. So you count it up now, we had 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, around 32. So if you think about it, in 1932 is when World War II started kind of to gain its momentum. So it was after that 8 years that we actually went into World War II. So let's get on the same timetable with events. Who's going to step up? Who's going to play the next Hitler? Because you need a new Hitler. They always had to create a new Hitler. You had Bismarck. You need a new Hitler. The Germans were always the bad guy. So who's going to be the next bad guy that they bring out of the woodwork to want world domination? Is it Putin, the ultimate bad guy, and takes everybody? Well, we don't know who's the new bad guy. But we can say after Trump's second term, after this next 8 years is when all hell breaks loose, because they're going to feel again that they can do it. But does Nikki Haley come in at that point to seek and try to keep the peace, or will the next bad guy just overwhelm her and she'll just be the first female president in a world of chaos? But we'll see after this next 8 years. We had this 8-year run, and that's what they'll say, well, Trump was the last president because he'd be the greatest president. He'll be the greatest president. So we'll see how this plays out. We'll see where Nikki Haley positions herself, where she gets positioned. We know Tulsi Gabbard is going to be positioned. We know there's going to be some Indians in this cabinet. The Indians are positioning themselves. We see that. They're positioning themselves. So they could be planning to take America and put Nikki Haley up there. She got the face. She's Indian. She can be that leader. They thought Kamala was going to do it, but Kamala messed up because she never claims India. Nikki Haley do. She claims India. But Kamala never claims who she is. And that's one of her weaknesses. She doesn't claim who she is. She should have had a huge Indian vote. She doesn't have it because she's not even pandering to her own community. And she's not that bright. I mean, Nikki Haley gets on your nerves, but she's very intelligent. She's very intelligent. Nikki Haley says things that economically make sense but get on your nerves. Because you can go back and forth with her and debate, hey, hold up, but if look how long you're saying that, now you're going to, and her whole thing on Social Security, I just have no agreement with it. So she throws out a lot of this stuff in the economy that she feels will help the economy. I feel that, it's going to be a drain, but at least you can have those type of conversations because her policies can be debated. Kamala ain't got no damn policies. It's the same BS over and over again. And like Mel Gibson said, if you vote for her, you just a fucking idiot. There's no hope for you. you pretty much have fucked the world at that point because this girl is too stupid to do anything. I mean, come on, man. Don't do that to yourself. It's always a line in politics. And you have to be honest with the candidate to say, no, this person is a doofus and they'll just fuck up everything. So somebody said it best. Trump is an asshole, but he's your type of asshole. He's an asshole, but he's your type of asshole. So that's why we keep him around. Because when the world needs some slapping around, you need an asshole to go tell motherfuckers, shut up, you do this. The only thing, like I say, I don't agree with Trump with that tax bill that he signed with that fucked up people who own homes in certain places where we can't file for the full amount of the home. So I'm going to write a letter to the White House when Trump gets in about this, that, hey, that hurt a lot of homeowners in states where the taxes are fucking out of control and these governors are not helping us. And the municipalities aren't helping. So I'm going to write something to him about that shit prior to him getting elected to see if he's willing to look at that part of the tax bill again because it's hurting people. The other thing I don't agree with and why I'm not voting for him is that $38 billion over the next 10 years to Israel. I'm not going to support anyone who supports Israel and the foolishness they're doing. I have no support for you at all. So that's where I stand. Could Nikki Haley be positioned? She's 52 years old. We know 52 is a number of prophecy. By the time Trump gets out, she'll be 56. She'll be 60. So she'll be about the same age as Kamala is now. And is that the age for the first female president? We don't know. So we'll just play it by ear and see which way this goes. Back Row Ministry of the World Premier, Mr. Mark D. saying peace.